This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today is Jason Brewer, the CEO of Marula Mining, following two pieces of news, one from Kinusi and one from Nyorinyori. Let's start with the Nyorinyori news first, and that is, of course, that representatives from Takela and yourself have conducted a technical site visit where high-grade graphite mineralisation was observed on the mining licences. So, first of all, Jason, what's the objective? What are you looking for in the team when you get on site?
Good afternoon, Mark. Look, when we're on site, we're really looking for that validation of, I guess, some of the initial information and data and product that we're able to see. So for me personally, it's very important to get out there to walk the licenses, meet some of the local people on the grounds and just understand it. It's hard to talk about a project if you haven't been there. You know, you've got to actually have some connection and some ability to kind of express what truly is there. You know, an RNS is just words, but when you've been on site, you can add so much flavor, so much more to it.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's interesting you say an RNS is just words because, of course, all of this was visual, wasn't it? But the RNS does state out with a lot of confidence there. It talks about high-grade graphite plus 90% graphite content in shallow veins, mineralisation at surface. Your social media there showing pictures of the graphite flakes. So, there's a lot of confidence I'm getting from the communications from Marula. How can you speak with such confidence purely from a visual point of view? Is the place just teeming with graphite?
Oh, look, I think at surface, you're able to see the graphite mineralisation there, which is very similar to what you see at Bagamoyo. 45 to 75% of graphite content visually. You can see that. But then the benefit there at Nyorinyori is where you've got a small pit, which is being worked by some local Tanzanians. You can see a very significant vein there, which is pure black, pure flake, pure graphite. Can't say pure graphite. Look, we've said plus 90%, but this stuff you can see, you can touch, and you can actually see the flake sizes. So, when you see that, it instills an awful lot of confidence in you. And then as you walk the license area and you see the extent of it, that confidence grows. And look, in my career, I've seen a tremendous amount of projects. I make it a point, as I said, to get on site because no disrespect to the geologists out there, you can't always believe what a geologist tells you. You've got to see it firsthand and understand it. But, when I saw the stuff at Nyorinyori, when I was able to hold it and see those flake sizes and see the graphite content, it gives you a lot of confidence. And the samples we've taken, which are for assay, for grade, and for flake size determination, I think they're just going to confirm those initial impressions which we were able to get. Okay.
You said there's some activities by a local company. Is that what's going on at the minute with activities on site there?
No, look, through Takela, and they're obviously the registered holders of these licenses. They've got a number of people on site there. And what we've allowed to happen is some small-scale artisanal mining of this material. They're also on site. They're effectively our security. They're managing that license area. They're stopping others from coming onto the license. And what they've actually been doing over several months has been mining small volumes, which they've been selling to a local Chinese group, which is buying the graphite mineralisation from them. So that gives us a lot of confidence straight away. And in the process of that, they've exposed this very high-grade graphite mineralisation. So they've done a great job in that. These small-scale miners are probably some of the best geologists you will ever find in Africa because they find this stuff and, they do this because they're able to make some good money out of it, selling it locally, in this case to Chinese groups.
Okay. But now it's time for a bigger operation like Marula to come in and take this further. You've talked there about wanting to crack on immediately with an accelerated exploration program.
Yeah, look, again, seeing this really does demonstrate some significant potential. And, I'm thinking already 2-3 steps ahead. So we've taken 1.5 ton of that material which has been mined. And that is going to the laboratories, to SGS there in Mwanza in Tanzania for that full analysis. So we're not taking a small grab sample. We're taking 1.5 ton of this material to really give us a good understanding of what's there. But then as part of this now, with our own geologists and with geological consultants, a bigger mapping, trenching, pitting, and moving very quickly, in my mind, towards a drilling program, a shallow drilling program. That's all that's needed here, to really expose this and give us the confidence to move very quickly. We all move very quickly at Marula. But when you have an opportunity presented like this to you, it would be remiss of me as the CEO not to want to move it forward fast-tracked for our shareholders and other stakeholders as well.
And the objective would be to prove up a resource, or to actually get stuff into production?
No, we want to be able to prove up a resource very quickly, both a high-grade resource and a high-value resource. So very much targeting those jumbo flakes there. At the same time, you do have that immediate opportunity to have some smaller scale production. And whether that entails a small pilot plant, some of the test work on that 1.5 ton will really give us a bit more confidence on the metallurgical aspects of this. We need to look at how best we're going to recover those those jumbo flakes. So, I think the next 3 to 6 months is really going to define this project and just how quickly we can move towards some significant progress here.
Okay, excellent. Well, just finally on the Nyorinyori, the RNS also mentioned that negotiations have taken or will be going ahead with Tequila to potentially increase the scope of the project to include up to 25 additional mining licenses. So what are the key factors that will be considered in determining the feasibility and viability of such an expansion? And how does it fit really with Marula's overall growth strategy in the area?
Yeah, look, we're looking at it. No decision is going to be made on that until really we've got the independent assay and flake size results back from the lab. That's a no-brainer. That has to be received there. And also that phase 1 program, which we want to get sorted out now to better understand the mineralized trend of the graphite across not just our licenses, but how that extends onto the adjoining ones, which are obviously the subject to this potential extension. So before we do that, there is a lot more work there, but we've already been given, call it the option, to take this up. Now, if this is as significant a project as it potentially is, then clearly we want to have a footprint big enough for some significant operation. So the whole strategy of Marula is, yes, getting projects into development in a very timely manner, but also making sure that the projects we do get are long-term sustainable and ones of significance. And having now this partnership with Q Global Commodities, that gives us the ability, I guess, to also look a little bit bigger at the scale of these operations. Financing and capital being allocated to our projects is not necessarily an issue for us now, given this broader partnership that we have with them.
Okay, excellent. It looks like things will be growing on the graphite side for Marula then. Looking forward to seeing how that exploration program is planned and then executed this year, looking to get that resource. Moving on then to Kinusi, looking at early stage production here, similar model perhaps to what you're doing at Blesberg. You're looking to increase, or you have increased to 75% your ownership there of the project from Tequila, and looking to install a processing plant in April. So again, that's pretty soon.
Yeah, look, I mean, I had the pleasure last week of being in South Africa, and I met up with SMP, Southern Metals Processing, who are our processing engineers. And we've been talking about Kinusi for some time. And what we're now looking at doing is getting that plant, the plant design is underway, getting that optimized with a view that mining activities will commence, obviously, this current quarter. But a view that final plant design will be completed over this quarter, and potentially looking at early in the second half of this year, having that first material processed through there. So that plant design work has been underway for a while, and I think most recently being on site with Tequila and also with representatives from QGC, that has again given us that confidence to really push ahead with this.
Okay. I know you replicating the model at Blesberg here. Are you processing old dumps, or where's the ore going to come from to go through the processing plant?
Yeah, this is hard rock. This is
It's
hard
hard
rock.
rock.
This is,
Okay.
again, very conventional open pit mining, which will feed a plant. So these are there's over 30 small pits, which have been very small pits in some instances that have been opened up on Kinusi, on that Kinusi
Okay.
hill. So we are focusing, as we've said, on half a dozen of these to start with. And the material is going to be mined from there starting later this month, stockpiled, and then processed through that plant. So it's not a reprocessing of waste dumps. Mind you, some of the artisanal waste that you see on the ground as you're walking around is probably running 5 to 10%. Okay. So, we're obviously looking at getting a high grade, smaller tonnage operation going, but it's literally a hard rock operation going into the very visible mineralized veins that you see throughout Kinusi.
And in terms of actually mining the hard rock, then is it going to be like a heavy mining operation, or is it fairly straightforward? Minimal kit required.
Yeah, look, we will mobilize excavators. We will have a number of trucks up there. Your typical mobile mining equipment.
Okay.
But let's not kid ourselves. This isn't going to be some massive operation that's going to be opening up some big excavations here. It's going to be selective mining. It's going to be focused on a number of exposed mineralized veins, which from our limited sampling program already has clearly demonstrated a high grade. But we will be mobilizing equipment up there, and it will be a very standard open cast operation.
Open cast. So effectively collecting the ore in an excavator and then running it through a processing plant to extract the copper.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay.
And importantly as well, some of the precious metal credits up there, which we've already started to notice. So the value of this copper ore, there's some significant precious metal credits there, which I think we will start to see the value of as well.
Okay, interesting. Just another point I picked up, Jason. You've got you sent 100 kilograms of samples off to I think 4 potentially interested parties for offtake agreements. Is that right? And how are those negotiations going?
Yeah, we've actually shortlisted it down to 4. There was significantly more that we had been approached by. Of those 4, 3 are based in Switzerland. 1 is based in the UK. We've started those discussions over previous months. They've now moved to a significant point where material is in the process of being delivered to them. So about 20 to 25 kilos of what we consider to be representative copper ore is going to each of those parties for their own sampling and analysis. We've also we sent out, I guess, our wish list, how we'd like to structure an offtake arrangement and standalone financing as well. So they've come back, they've provided their comments, and that's how we got to this kind of shortlisted group. And we're now in the process, like I say, of getting that product to them. And on that, they will then update their pricing models, because they've all submitted to us indicative pricing based upon a minimum grade of material and tonnages to be delivered them from the second half of this year. So yes, those discussions are ongoing. We're very pleased to have 4 shortlisted groups. We don't want to extend it too far because that's going to take up too much time. I think there's enough competitive tension there to get a very good deal, and we hope to get that finalised in line with the plant, the establishment of the plant. So yes, very comfortable with that.
So when you say get it sorted for the establishment of the plant, the RNS mentions you want to start small-scale mining ops in April. Tequila are going to start small-scale mining ops in April. So you're wanting to get these negotiations tied up fairly quickly?
Yes, certainly before the end of the first half of this year. So, we're going to be making a number of commitments, capital commitments, and commitments to the local community in terms of employment and in terms of community initiatives that we're doing there. So, with that in mind, we need that certainty that we've got a good, credible counterparty that's going to come in for an initial offtake agreement, which allows us to get this moving. So this is going to be moving ahead very quickly. Once they've turned around their analysis of the samples we give to them then that, really cements it and demonstrates, what can be achieved from commercial terms with them.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you very much for that update, Jason. I just want to ask you a final question. I think this came up in our premiere event. Someone was asking, with all the operations that are going on now, were you going to be a bit stretched too thin? How are you feeling about managing all of these or getting other people in place to assist with that?
Yeah, we've got a good team. It's all about the team. I'm the mug that does this, so I'm happy with my role and driving it, but I'm even more pleased with the team that we're surrounding ourselves with, and that team is growing all the time. So we're looking at getting a bit of an update on that team and on the strengthening of our board as well, which needs to strengthen to recognise the different jurisdictions we're working in and the projects that we're undertaking. So yeah, I'm feeling very good. I'm feeling very good, very positive, and pleased to be working in this environment and with the team that we've got.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Jason Brewer, the CEO of Marula Mining, for your time today.
Mark, as always, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.